people that come here they're in awe of it.
Water. Clean, constant, and bubbling fresh. It's what draws people to the Henry's Fork.
There's water everywhere.
This watershed is rich in farmland.
Without the Henry's Fork, there would be no irrigators.
It's rich in fishing.
There's so many fish in it, it smells like fish. And you can just smell the life in the river.
And there's a sense here that people are really making an effort to help Henry's.
Getting what everybody wants out of this water is dependent on everybody's working together and meshing their values together.
Outdoor Idaho explores the Henry's Fork of the Snake River.
Funding for Outdoor Idaho is made possible by the Friends of Idaho Public Television, by the Laura Moore Cunningham Foundation, committed to fulfilling the Moores' legacy of helping to build the great state of Idaho, and by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting.
The Henry's Fork, what a magical name. Most of the fly fishers in North America know of this place and sing its praises. Hi, I'm Bruce Reichert, and welcome to Outdoor Idaho. Maybe it's because most of this cold, clear water is spring-fed. Maybe it's because the fish here just seem so incredibly intelligent. Or maybe it's the wildlife, the elk, the deer, the moose, even the grizzly bear. It doesn't matter the season, the Henry's Fork of the Snake River will inspire. $4.15. That's how much a one-year lease on this cabin cost back in 1929. It's Johnny Sack's cabin. Johnny Sack built it by hand from the outside in and lived in it until 1957. He was good with wood, and it shows. A wooden chandelier, his own pipe stand, and his custom-made bed that's 2 inches too short to be considered a double. Johnny was only 4'11". He and his dog Luna, who is buried in the basement, made this place their home for decades. Now their rustic wonder is a tourist stop on the banks of Big Springs.
I rarely go to that spot where there's not somebody there. It seems like there's always somebody there.
At Big Springs, the big draw is big fish.
If you got people feeding bread year-round, they can still grow pretty big.
Those big fish are thriving in the headwaters of Henry's Fork. 120 million gallons of 52-degree water bubble out of Big Springs every day. It's the nation's first national water trail, designated in 1981. It's also a national natural landmark, and for good reason. It's the birthplace of this remarkable river that runs downhill from here. The Henry's Fork is the North Fork of the Snake River. It's named after Andrew Henry, a fur trader from the 1800s. The river is in the Ashton Island Park Ranger District, which is in the Caribou-Targhee National Forest. This Idaho River runs 120 miles from the northern end of Island Park to the far west side of Rexburg, where it meets the South Fork of the Snake River. It includes Henry's Lake, Island Park Reservoir, the ranch stretch at Harriman State Park, Mesa Falls, Ashton Dam, and Chester Backwaters. The pristine place is relatively quiet now, but the landscape is pocked with a volcanic history of havoc, similar to neighboring Yellowstone National Park. The northern end, which includes majestic Mesa Falls, is inside a caldera. That's the ring of rocks left behind when a volcano empties and collapses in on itself. There is talk of turning the northern end, the caldera, into a national monument.
The scenery, the aesthetic values of having moving water coming to an area draws people from all around. And so Island Park and the caldera is tied together by the Henry's Fork. There's no doubt about that.
No doubt that tie is binding in any season.
But a lot of the river, due to the cold snap we've had, is iced over. Pretty cold and wintry landscape.
This is one of Rob Cavallero's favorite commutes for work. He's heading to the river running through Harriman State Park. Here the Henry's Fork runs flat. The vegetation under the water is thick, and the swans know it. And that's why they're here in the winter.
The Henry's Fork corridor is very important for wintering trumpeters. The swans with their long necks can go down and pull the aquatic vegetation out from the bottom of the river, and that loosens some of the material and makes it available for the mallards and the other ducks that don't have necks as long to reach down there.
There are 5,500 trumpeter swans in the Rocky Mountain population, and more than half of those birds winter in eastern Idaho. Cavallero makes at least one trip a month to the river to count them.
It's nice to get out here and get out in the quiet and in the woods.
As a skier, Rob is along Henry's for work. But these sledders are here for play.
How many have heard the term when in doubt, throttle out? It is the worst application of throttle anybody can give.
Amber Holt owns Backcountry Basics.
It's all about balance and power. Correct application of power.
She teaches riders proper snowmobiling technique and backcountry safety. Island Park is her office.
There, very good. The conditions are challenging. The wind is up, it's cold. Visibility is very flat today, but we're making the best of it, and the girls are out there riding, so they're staying nice and warm.
By mid-afternoon, her students, all women today, are handling these heavy sleds with confidence.
I'm not intimidated, and it's fun. You feel like you're out surfing in the snow when you get, playing in the powder.
Remember not to look down, look out. It's really rewarding because at the end of the day, you take someone who you started with, who was maybe, say, a female like we have today, very timid on the throttle and apprehensive. And by the end of the day, she's doing technical maneuvers that took me 2.5 years to learn. So it's really rewarding work. Woo!
The reward also pays off for Idaho's snowmobile industry. The Henry's Fork runs through Island Park in Fremont County. In 2012, Fremont County had 8,400 registered snowmobiles on its powder, the highest in the state.
It's its lifeblood in the winter. It really is. Everybody up here practically owns a cabin and owns a snowmobile, or they come out here to vacation. This holiday season was one of the biggest years I've seen, and there were people from all over the U.S. out here snowmobiling. It was really neat. I really like this Island Park area because it's got a little something for everybody, and I can always find freshies.
That interest in freshies or untracked powder keeps the Fall River Electric crew hopping. They are in charge of keeping the people who live, work, and play along Henry's warm, because here winter dominates half of the year.
Every day in the winter, we're here. So if it's sunny and cold, we're here. If it's blowing and snowing, we're here. We take pride in keeping people in power.
Several inches of heavy snow stacked on the power lines.
We're going to see probably a lot more snow. I've seen it where the trees just get loaded up, and then it'll freeze on the trees, and trees will just start breaking.
To keep the cabins cozy with heat and light, the line crew climbs poles for repairs.
Up here, when it gets 20 to 30 below, somebody could freeze up in a big hurry. You respect the power line, you understand that you gotta do what you gotta do, keeps everything safe all the time, cover up, do your job right, and then you'll go home at night with all your fingers and toes.
The risk of freezing melts away with the spring thaw in early May.
The thing that's always amazed me about in this area, the Island Park along the Henry's Fork, is we have a long winter, but how quickly it wants to transition to spring. It's just the minute the snow leaves, the grass and the green comes out. It just couldn't wait any longer. And so it's almost immediate how it goes from one season over to the next.
There's a little wind today and the willows are rustling and everything's budding out and the birds are here and it's beautiful.
The MP Ranch turns bright with green as winter fades.
Right now it's very green and we have some of the snow left over from the winter, but not as much as usual. You get a look at beautiful scenery. You're there with the animals and there's not much better than that. We have such a big diversity of all types of big animals, plus the birds, curlews and sandhill cranes.
Deb MP's father bought this 570-acre ranch next to Henry's Lake in 1943.
When I was little, the buildings were much higher than they are today, so they're kind of sinking down into the ground, and I think we're probably turn-of-the-century buildings, so, you know, they have a right to be tired.
Deb runs sheep on the ranch. Her dog Joe is one of the many dogs she trains in the field.
Come by. Joe, right there. Basically, you want the sheep to be moving along in a calm manner, and you want the dog to keep them out of trouble. Slow!
Beyond working dogs and running sheep, not much else happens on the ranch, and it never will. The MPs protect the ranch through 2 conservation easements with the Nature Conservancy. One for 50 acres, set up in 2008, and another for 515 acres in 2012. These easements mean the land cannot be developed or turned into a subdivision.
We just wanted to protect the entire aspect of the ranch in what it is, and we have left places where the animals can come off the migration paths and go past buildings and in between other properties and can get to whatever they need to. We wanted to keep the ground exactly the way it has been because it is so important to us, and the idea that you can pass it on down through generations like that. It is my home and is, you know, a really ingrained part of me.
By summer, migrating animals are also part of the MP place. The celebrated short season of the sun is here. The annual Fisherman's Breakfast in St. Anthony is the official kickoff.
We do a variety pack here. We do a little bit of everything.
4,000 people stand in line for free breakfast. Volunteers from Fremont County Search and Rescue and the Chamber of Commerce cook 500 pounds of sausage, mix 500 gallons of pancake batter.
Uh-oh, that's a blonde one.
And spread 60 pounds of butter. The breakfast bash is followed by opening day on Henry's Lake on Memorial Weekend.
This is the big day. This is when everybody shows up to get at those cutthroat on Henry's Lake. Everybody waits for this day, and some people may not come the rest of the season to fish Henry's Lake, but they won't miss today, opening day.
Here it's shoulder to shoulder on the bank. Combat fishing brought on by hundreds of trophy-sized trout, cruising the edges of the recently thawed lake.
It is chaos, that's for sure, but it's fairly organized. We can keep our parking straight and people getting on and off the water safely and hopefully coming out with a couple of fish each.
We're kind of catching a lot of fish.
It's a steady stream of boats of every description and every size, coming in, going out, coming in, going out.
300 boats launch on opening day, double the daily average. 1,000 anglers wait hours to get on the water, then spend several more hours trying to catch fat fish.
Don't sing! Maybe it's a shark.
I don't think so. I think it's a weed, bud.
Most of the fish are hatchery raised to the trophy expectations that Henry's Lake is known for.
So we've probably got 2 5 or 6 pounders, and then I would say 2 3-pounders on our string today.
Henry's Lake is one of the most popular state parks in Idaho. The lake sits atop eastern Idaho's water chain, spilling into Henry's Fork and every other drainage downstream.
Without water, the desert doesn't blossom, and that's what we'd be. So the water is vital to irrigation of all the lands that are within our district.
We provide water to the rest of Idaho. We grow the rest of Idaho out of the Henry's Fork.
The Henry's Fork is also a power generator for the Upper Valley.
21, 13.
And of course, it's a playground for everyone.
It's just a great place to live, to hunt and fish. You can't beat the Henry's Fork.
But water wars over Henry's have been notorious, so much so that the federal government had to step in.
Historically, I'm not sure that everyone always got along here. And so the Henry's Fork Watershed Council was developed and built and mandated out of those disputes and the uses of the water. So that's part of it, is that there was some push by folks from our legislature that said, you guys need to figure out how to get along better and make this work.
The Henry's Fork Watershed Council started in 1993. It puts all of the Henry's Fork players on the same field and makes them play nice.
The Henry's Fork Watershed Council, while at one point the different diverse stakeholders did not get along and see eye to eye, has led to a great relationship and actually has become a model across the country.
We're storing early, releasing later, so it's the same water, it's just a different way of managing it for the benefit of the fishery.
1,500 farmers after water rights, thousands of fishermen after fish, and biologists trying to keep track of it all.
People here are willing to work together. I've done a lot of projects up here that have accomplished some, what I feel are big things for fisheries.
1340.
But it's not been done just by me, it's been done in cooperation with many different groups.
Henry's Fork fish are coveted worldwide, and their wild numbers in this watershed seem to be increasing. Trout with trackable tags swim for miles unobstructed and have ladders where needed. Every drop of water is, it seems, measured to help the many different interests get along.
I think it's made a difference because we can all sit down at the table together, look at what each other's needs are, and see if those needs can be met.
It is this spirit of cooperation and compromise that helps keep the water protected.
Well, that's originally what national forests were founded for, was to protect our water supplies. And the amount of water that comes off of this country is truly amazing.
A Henry's Fork autumn brings a mellowing of textures and colors.
In the fall, the weather starts changing really nice and the leaves start changing colors.
But But before hibernation smothers Henrys in snow, Idaho's bear researchers set traps. There are more than 700 grizzly bears in the greater Yellowstone ecosystem, and many of them spend their out-of-den time in the Henry's Fork watershed. The grizz have been on and off the endangered species list, so Idaho Fish and Game biologists collar as many grizzlies as they can to keep track of the population.
There's really a small number of people worldwide that work with these species, and that's a pretty cool thing to be part of that.
Collared bears like this one, grizzly number 227, barrel into the woods after waking up from a drug-induced sleep. As soon as he leaves the trap site, the tracking game begins. 227's collar sends a location signal every 105 minutes. The location is marked on a grid stretching across Idaho, Montana, and Wyoming. They now know, for example, that between June and November, this bear traveled 1,400 miles. And they also know that occasionally bears find themselves in the middle of Island Park Reservoir.
We have bears that swim across the reservoir at night. That's a pretty good trick. You learn some pretty neat information from that on where they go and what they do.
10% of the grizzlies in the greater Yellowstone ecosystem are collared. Nicole Walker follows those collars. She checks the area for collared bears before she leaves the truck. All static, no beeps. That's what she wants.
If we hear a beep, we leave. Hearing a beep is bad. We don't want to hear beep. Static is good. If we hear a beep, it means that there's a collared grizzly in the area.
She needs to know why the bear was here, but she doesn't want the bear to be here when she comes through. She hollers often to make her presence known. She notices telltale signs of bear activity. A bed burrowed behind a log for napping, and the bark full of bugs peeled back for eating.
There's a high level of anxiety sometimes, but it's also a big thrill to be out here in bear country and investigating and seeing things that a lot of people don't get to see.
While grizzlies are getting the last of the bugs and berries before hibernating, the elk are just starting their show. The sound of bugling bulls fills the frosty fall air.
The fall is my favorite time because I like getting out in the woods. It's nice and cool, and the elk are talking, and it's hunting season, and I like to do those kind of things.
For a few weeks in September and October, if you get up early and stay out late, you'll hear the song of the wild.
I think it's one of the best sounds there is. I love hearing elk bugle.
The males, bull elk, are looking for a date.
The bulls are looking for a date, yes. It's all about preserving their genes and their bloodlines, and that's all they're thinking about. They kind of throw caution to the wind and chase cows all over the place. If you can get into a spot where you can hear them a little bit and just hunker down or sit down, you can usually have elk come right into you.
Hunters set up camps all over the Island Park area.
The fall hunt is really what brings a lot of people up here. I spend a lot of time elk hunting. My wife's really good about letting me get out, thank goodness.
Hunters send out their own calls, trying to draw in trophy elk.
A lot of times, I like to use a bugle to locate elk. When you first hear elk bugling and screaming, and then they start getting closer and closer, then your blood really starts pumping. Yeah, it's a really exciting thing.
Even more exciting than the hunt is the high-quality condition of the country this time of year.
I love it when it's chill like this. It is overcast and a little bit cool to some people, but when you're out hiking in the woods or out looking for animals, it's a good time to be out.
The Henry's Fork delivers in any season, and those helping Henrys know that their efforts are working in this watershed.
I love being up here. I wouldn't want to live anywhere else.
Funding for Outdoor Idaho is made possible by the Friends of Idaho Public Television, by the Laura Moore Cunningham Foundation, committed to fulfilling the Moores' legacy of helping to build the great state of Idaho, and by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting.